Ta-da.
And we're live. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Thursday night. Welcome to the Q&A. We're going to talk about an interesting subject tonight. We're going to talk about, I want to get your thoughts on it, too, in a few minutes. We're going to actually go through Patreon questions first. We're going to rip through them, and then we're going to get talking about this because I have a whole thing, something that I've been giving a lot of thought to lately, about how much more fun guitar buying should be and why I think the guitar industry right now is doing it wrong. So I'm going to tell you why all this has come up here in just a minute. As usual, all of these live streams are ad free. So you can use a super chat to support us this evening. You can just watch and share and like and subscribe and all the free things. You can also use the links in the description to, support some of the companies that support us with affiliate links and whatnot. And you can go to dylantalkstone.com, but you know what you can't do? You can't buy a mystery box because they're sold out. Was that suspenseful enough?
I don't know what that was. Super chat from Texas Toast Guitars. It said, sorry, we went overtime, y'all.
Hey, man. I had a puppy that I was trying to get to poop in the backyard, and so everything was fine. Yeah, it all worked out.
Thanks for the super chat.
Yeah, thank you. So, so let's just rip through these Patreon questions because there's not very many of them, and then I want to really dive into I want to get your thoughts on this whole guitar buying experience thing. And you look at other businesses, other industries. You come back to the NAMM show that's coming up next week, and you're just like, oh, it's just more of the same. Maybe not. All right, I'll take over your side. All right, so first of all, we have a super chat. We're trying to make sure that the dog actually went to the bathroom. From Dastardly Dave, ad-free is definitely for me. Thank you, Dastardly Dave. I appreciate that very much. So let's go through these Patreon questions really quick, and then we will get through the other ones. Hang on, another super chat from Charles Wallace, ad-free. Thanks. Thank you so much, sir, for the support. First one, JD, what makes cheaper pickups unable to clean up like a well-constructed pickup? Wines versus magnet strength? It's a combination of things. One of them is going to be the capacitance of the pickup, which nobody ever talks about, because that really widens the frequency response of the pickup. The overall inductance is probably the biggest thing, wherever the resonant peak is in relation to I don't know how to explain this because it's something that I feel and hear, and it's hard for me to explain. So a lot of it has to do with a combination of things. The rest of your signal chain and your amp, because you're amplifying sounds, but what sounds are there to amplify in the first place? That's the question. And so to try to get as many there as possible, and then focus on particular frequencies. So that's the problem, is when you don't have a good pickup, you lose all of that, and you basically just narrow the box about, you narrow the range of what you can do with that pickup is the easiest way to explain it. And so, yeah, that's really it. That's what it really comes down to. Zoltan. Hello, Leslie and Dylan. What glue would you use to install a new synthetic nut, and how much of it? I'm replacing the nuts in a Strat and a Telly, and the bone nuts from the factory were a nightmare to remove. Well, Texas Toast is in the comments, and he'll tell you, Chris and Matt will tell you, very little glue, super glue probably, or a little bit of wood glue. But very little, just enough to hold it in place. You're not gluing it in. you're making it stationary, right? You don't want it to fall out. You don't want it to come out. You don't want it to vibrate out. But if you put glue all over the whole bottom of it, it'll never come out, even when you go to replace it. You're just really trying to make it stationary. So just a little bit on the end of a Q-tip. Dylan gives them a little kiss after magnetizing them. You know, there is a fair amount of my DNA in our pickups. There really is. Rob, hello, Leslie and Dylan. On your California trip, will DTT pickups be featured at the event, or is it all about Texas Toast guitars? I hope it's both. It's both. Yes. In my opinion, Mythos Pedals Zack needs to learn about your pickups. He's going to be there, and I've never met him, but I have friends who are friends with him. And so I am hoping to have a conversation with him because he will be there. Yeah. So, yeah. I think that's actually all of them.
All the Patreon?
Yeah.
And you got all of these?
I did. I think I did okay.
All right.
Yeah.
We'll let him keep doing it, y'all.
So, the reason this came up is because the NAMM show is next week. And Leslie and I we've not gone to the NAMM show for a couple of years.
Sorry.
And the reason is because I just don't see it being, I don't see it being the right way to market a guitar related brand anymore. That's my opinion. Now, there are other businesses where that works. Maybe it's just because I'm not the customer for it. So I could be completely wrong about this. But I just feel like it's just, to me, it's not the way to market it. And then I was looking for subjects the other day for a podcast. A lot of times, some of the subjects that we talk about on Tuesday and even some of the subjects that we talk about today, I'll look at guitar news and I'll look at gear news and I'll see what's going on. And, and there was an article in there and it was like, here's some NAMM spoilers, like some stuff that's going to come out at NAMM or what's expected to come out at NAMM. And it was like Martin redid some models and they look exactly the same, and Fender redid some models and they look exactly the same. And I got to thinking, what is missing from the guitar buying experience for me? And therefore, if I were to, by some small chance, get involved in the guitar industry in another way, like sell guitars, for example, what would I do different? Because I just don't feel like the buying experience it's so generic. It's like you go to the store, like, that any guitar under a certain amount of price point is going to come with a gig bag. There's going to be a hang tag in there. There's going to be a plastic thing with an Allen wrench, and that's it. Right? Like, that's it. So let me ask you, what do you think is missing from the guitar buying experience, and what would you like different when you buy a guitar? Like when you buy a guitar, I would love it if it gave me this feeling, if it gave me this thing, if it was a physical thing, if it's a emotional thing, if it's a what is missing? Because I think what happens,
Super chat from Ernesto Chang. Thank you for the super chat. He says, have you heard of, I don't know if it's RUF or RUF guitars? They make electric guitars out of carbon fiber. Would love to hear your opinion in the future.
I bet they're awesome. Carbon fiber, anything is cool. Mostly.
Have you heard of?
I have not.
Okay.
The only RUF I know of is Porsche. So yeah, I'm curious to know from you, what's the point of buying a guitar, right? Like, I think the comment section has, and I mean comment section broadly across social media, has reduced the reason you buy a guitar to a couple of things. One, so you can, like, I don't know, brag about it, I guess, to your friends on Instagram. Or it's just a tool. I only use it for... That is BS. You wouldn't do this if you didn't have fun. So I guess that's what I'm trying to get to the bottom of and trying to understand. And I know what I'm going to do different and I'll give you some ideas of what I think should be done different, but I want to get your thoughts first. Because what we're doing is we're just reducing. This is part of the reason I believe the just as good as guys exist. And this is also part of the reason why money is the center of whether a guitar is worth it or not. That your custom shop's not worth it. It's worth it to me, but that's because I understand the experience that I'm having and I don't reduce the guitar to a pile of parts and what this piece of wood should cost. It's more than that. But the guitar industry is not doing that very well. They're not attaching those feelings, and I want to understand from you what you think. So I don't know if there's any in there yet, but
there are some thoughts in here.
Let's do it.
We have, some thoughts in general. You kind of spread that out, so I think
that's
the
okay.
comments are spread out a little bit.
I kind of wanted to give a little bit of thought.
Okay.
Poking the thoughts, you know what I mean?
Jose Daniel Zamora P said, all new guitar models from the, quote, big ones just feel like the Barbie Malibu episode from The Simpsons.
Oh, that's funny.
Vinnie's World said, I think generic also has its charm. It's like buying a notepad and the rest is up to my imagination.
Okay.
Matthew Altamere said something like the baby pictures or something to that effect is pretty cool. Gibson got rid of that recently. Something of that guitar being born.
So the baby pictures thing is interesting. I'm literally writing stuff down. What did Vinny say just before that? He talked about the generic thing.
Generic.
Okay.
Be up to your imagination.
Okay, but here's my. I'm not challenged. I really respect you, Vinny. So I'll put this out there. A notepad is a consumable, right? So yes, this is all my imagination that has happened in this notepad. But when this notepad is full, then I need another one. A guitar isn't necessarily a consumable. And some of the inspiration, I believe, should come from, or does come from, or can come from the object itself. And if the guitar company is good, they will infuse some inspiration into the thing. I don't know how much a purely consumable thing inspires. I don't know. That's not for me. Now, ink in a fountain pen, if it's the right color, it makes me want to write. So there is a thing to that. I get it. Just talking it out with you. Okay, keep going.
Okay. Casey Lee said, I've got several guitars, so now I just look for something more unique or out of the ordinary.
So in the guitar itself. Okay.
G Money says, how about a URL to watch part of your guitar getting built?
That's neat.
Super Lead 100 says exclusivity.
Mm-hmm.
Jeremiah Mraz says, I think that man hours for a single luthier creating a single guitar should cost more, but a guitar made from a CNC machine mass produced should cost less.
The only problem with that logic is it's actually not it's hardly any less time. And then you have the $250,000 because that's about what it costs. I have a friend who has one, like a legit one. You have that investment. And so if you're going to build 5 guitars a year, and then you have a CNC machine, then you need to amortize that cost out somehow. And so it doesn't really work the way you think. But I see your sentiment there, but there's a lot more to that.
Jose Daniel Zamora P said, I think some of the details to make something more your own could be cool, like a custom truss rod cover or something with your name or engraving. And then he said, I really liked your idea of putting the initials of the owner of the guitar you made in the serial was really cool. Good is good says stickers and swag.
Okay, so you're kicking it basic. Cool.
Dog Dr. Tim says a guitar paired with a branded EDC item that flips your switch, knife, pen, hat, fishing flies, coffee mug, other premium EDC items that remind of your guitar daily. It's a cool thought.
So, Tim, now I know because you and I've had conversations. You and I are kind of on the same wavelength with this stuff, and I guess that's what I'm getting at. I know he's so cute when he's asleep.
Oh, he's not asleep.
This is, I guess, what I'm getting at, Tim. I think there's ways to infuse more into the buying experience. Think about the day that you buy a guitar, how exciting that is. But I think, I don't know. It can just be very generic, right? Gig bag, hang tag, Allen key, same old. I look at some of these other industries that I have hobbies in, and they really concentrate on the buying experience. That's one of the things when you buy a custom shop Gibson too, or a custom shop Stratocaster or Telecaster. It's not just case candy. People want to say, well, does it come with the case candy? That's not what it's about. It's really about building this entire experience around this instrument and making it the ownership experience. Like acquiring this thing is an event, right? And I don't know. There's got to be a way. When I go to the NAMM show, it's just like you walk in a booth and there's a bunch of Fenders hanging there. And, they've got the custom shop things that you can't buy because somebody already bought them at the private dinner the night before. But other than that, it's pretty generic. And so that's what I want to change. I want to make it, I want to make what we do more of an experience. And so I'm working on that. And so that's something, A, that I'm looking for suggestions on, and B, I want to know if that's important to you. As a community, is it important to you to enjoy the buying experience? Because I think you should. When you buy a pocket knife, an expensive one, when you buy an expensive pistol, when you buy, when you buy an expensive fountain pen, the box it comes in, we've had them where you open the thing and it pops up out of there and it's super cool. And it's like, you're going to go, okay, well, I'm going to throw the box away, but it doesn't matter because in the moment you've spent this money for this thing. It's an experience and you get a feeling from it. And I think it's really important. It's something that I don't think the guitar industry is doing right. They're just not. And I think they are, I think they're losing. I think along with that, it gets lost, the creative and the inspiration, the inspiring side of purchasing a guitar, and then it just becomes another object in the collection, and you don't have as much of a connection with it, I guess.
You want some more thoughts?
Yeah, let's do it.
So Vinnie's World responded. He said, I get your point. I think of it like the guitar being part of the materials for creation, like pottery or a canvas. Of course, the difference is that it can be part of more than one piece of music. And he said, I like nice guitars too, just saying that there's more than one way to be inspired to buy a guitar.
Yes, 100%. I agree.
Phil Grochel said, it has been said that wood tones don't make all that much difference in sound except to a trained ear. If that is true, then maybe we need to introduce more variation in sounds to make it exciting.
I 100% agree. Yeah, I think that staying with the same 5 shapes and the same 4 pickups and the same everything, it's dumb. I think we need to expand it. I agree.
Jose Daniel Zamora P said something cool in a cheesy, nice way that brick and mortar stores could implement would be like an instant photo of the day you bought the guitar so you can add to the case candy, and even like a wall of, quote, the family with a copy of all the pictures with the sellers or something like that to give you a sense of community and bond with the store more.
So the smart ones are doing that. The smart ones are, the smart businesses in general are doing that. We've gone into a coffee shop where you could put a pin in a wall where you came from, and then there was a selfie wall, and you tagged yourself on Instagram. The bicycle shop where we have bought bicycles downtown, they do that, and then they take a selfie with you with your bicycle. It goes on social media. Like they do, like those are very smart things, and it makes you feel like you know that person, and now you can go, hey, I need to go buy inner tubes or whatever. I feel like going there instead of buying it online. Like that's really, really key. Those are really important things. I'm glad to hear that this stuff is important to you. Sometimes when we get on the internet and we start learning about stuff or watching YouTube videos, it becomes so the guitar is just a tool and technical. And it's just nice to hear that our viewers and our community anyway, there's still some emotion attached to it and a creative side attached to it. And I really appreciate that.
I don't know if Dog Dr. Tim's talking about the stream. Is anybody else having problems? He said, what is the silly blip out reload BS that keeps happening?
We should have pretty good speed right now.
So I don't know if it's him or us. That would be, nobody else has said anything, but I don't want to ignore it.
The other thing too, and I'm just gonna say this, even though that's something I'm supposed to say on Tuesdays, is I know that there is a large contingent of guitar players who do not play the guitar for the sake of the music and the playing the guitar. I know that they buy a PRS because it's beautiful and because they play guitar sometimes, but they just want the cool thing. And for those people, that's the way I am. With pocket knives, for example, I am not super tactical guy. I'm not, but I want to have the thing, I want to have the thing, and I want to know all about it and think it's really cool and have the experience, even though I'm, what do they call it? Tacticool. That's what they call people that are like all into tactical stuff, but not actually full tactical, But I think that's the way it is with guitar players too. A lot of us, including myself, we're not good enough, or we're not I don't want to say good enough. We don't get the full potential out of the instrument just because we own it. Part of the reason we have it is because it's neat. And so for people like me, I think it's neat to have the custom shop Gibson, not because I'm awesome, but because it comes with all the cool stuff and it's neat. So, I think there's a lot of people that would enjoy. I just get this from other industries that I'm involved in. I'm like, people really like the experience of the thing. And in the fact that it contributes to the ownership of the thing. So it's just beyond just the actual object itself, Yet I'm somebody who throws every box away. Like, I don't have any pedal boxes. I don't have any pen boxes. I don't have any guitar boxes. I don't have anything. I don't keep any of it. But I do like it on the day that I get it. I don't have any knife boxes. Maybe I have a couple.
All right.
But I'm also not going to sell anything.
Do you want Me to start at the top, or you still want to
Yeah,
hear
let's
some
go.
thoughts here?
Let's keep
I
rolling.
think we
Yeah.
can still do the thoughts here before we do that.
Okay.
Jeremiah Mraz, I feel like this whole industry is not for most people, so it's hard to say how we can make it a better experience when most can't afford the generic experience. All of my guitars were used on OfferUp.
Okay, so let's touch on that real quick. We just did a survey on this the other day on our channel. And I know that it's very natural for us to look at our own situation and think that that's the way it is for the majority of people. However, what we have found in the survey that we did the other day, ones we did before, and I've been paying attention to some other surveys in some other areas of interest that I have. And the bottom line is for example, I'll give you a fountain pen that costs $200. Tons and tons and tons and tons and tons of people are buying them. Okay. The pocket knife that costs $500 and up, tons and tons and tons and tons of people are buying them. And they're not only buying them, they're using them every day and not leaving them as case queens on the shelf. The majority of our viewers the other day when we did this survey, and the ones that we've done in the past, owned guitars that were over $2,500. So it's out there. There's a broad range, right? So to assume that because our personal situation is a certain way, it means that that's the way the majority is probably inaccurate. But we also have to recognize that there's all kinds. Like there's people that have a $500 guitar and people that have a $5,000 guitar and everybody in between. So trying to appeal to as many people as possible is cool. But the problem with it is somebody like Fender, for example, is this might be part of the problem. They're so generic in the sense that they have to appeal to so many people. I don't. We make a premium product, right? So the GFS pickup customer or the Planet Tone pickup customer is not my customer. They buy different things than the Dylan Talks Tone customer. So we've kind of narrowed it down a little bit trying to not exclude the folks that are interested, even if they don't want to purchase at that price point. Because I don't want to exclude anybody because from our content, from the stuff that we're interested in, the stuff that we think is cool, just because they feel they can't afford a premium product. That's a trick in 2025. It's to be like, talking to somebody who can't afford a $150 pickup, but still I want them to be part of the community because it's cool. I just still want them to be here, So that's a thing that I think about a lot. To just kind of flush that little part out there.
Bill says, I enjoy the building process of making a cheap or old used guitar into something my friends don't want to put down.
That's really fun. It is really fun.
Curtis Chavez says, electric guitar is unique because other musicians don't argue that. And then he gave an example. My El Cheapo violin with mods is just as good as a Strad.
I know. It's weird. I don't get it either.
Zundfolge. Sadly, most of the guitar buying public are so price focused. If you add some nifty extra, most of the reviewers will be, that's cool and all, but I'd rather it were $50 cheaper, which is too bad.
Yeah. And so what happens is we quickly find out who our customer is not, which is okay. That's okay too.
Vinnie's World told Jose that his local Gibson dealer does the picture wall thing. He said, I just need to make sure my wife doesn't get the photo on her feed. Tom F says, I simply buy things I like, period. That's all the justification I need.
Same.
Graphite and Guitar says, so are you saying you are not a guitar operator? I don't know what that means.
Yeah, I don't know what that means either.
And this is the one, if You probably saw me laugh. If other people saw me laugh, this is the comment. Jose Daniels of Morapee said, I don't even go the full potential of my life, let alone a guitar.
Oh, that's really funny. I think most of us don't, even though we try very hard.
Oh, man, that's funny. T-Bone says, as a Stratocaster fanatic, I don't want any major changes in the shape and style. Leo was light years ahead with his design, but it would be nice if Fender would go to push in trim arms. It's 2025.
There are some modern features that would be cool, right? Yeah. So, yeah, no, this is interesting. This is a great conversation. And if you have any other guitar questions too, get them in there, and we'll talk about those too. You've got some?
Mhm.
Okay, cool. Very good.
Just a few, but yeah. Curtis Chavez says, if you were to wind a pickup to sound as close to a PAF as possible, but using ceramic magnets, what differences would you anticipate? Secondly, are there different types of ceramic magnets?
There are not different types of ceramic magnets available to me readily. Second part of the question first. First part of the question, I have done it. It shaves off a bit of the clarity on the top, and it makes it people think that ceramic pickups are brittle and really like brittle sounding, but they're not. That's a myth. That's based on the fact that cheap pickups sound brittle and they have ceramic magnets in them, but that's not the only reason why they sound bad. So yeah, it shaves off the top a little bit. I don't like the lack of clarity that it has, and it has this weird, I guess it's a scoopy mid-range, but it's not scooped like a Strat. It sounds to me more like an EMG, I guess. I don't know. I just don't. Yeah, I don't really like it. I have played with it. I've thought about it. That's why we went to go with a little bit hotter DAF, or because our PAF, that's what we call it. Our Super 8 has an Alnico 8 magnet in it instead of a ceramic, which is a little weaker than a ceramic magnet, but it sounds totally different, and it actually works really well. There's probably a bunch of people in the comments that have them. They're real good.
So I don't know when you were talking about this. Somebody was talking about something. Maybe it was just in the comments.
Okay.
Marcia Murray said, do you need to glue the nut? I have a nylon string and the nut isn't glued and I haven't had problems.
Yeah, that was actually a Patreon question. Maybe while you were gone.
Okay,
yeah.
Okay.
I mean, if it's not coming out, nylon string has a whole lot less going on there tension wise. So I would think it would come out easier, but if it's fit really tight, then maybe it's fine. But a little dab. I would put a little dab on there.
Kyle Ricks says, do you tinker with amps?
Not at all. Not at all.
3J Music said, I spent a lot of years with inexpensive gear, nearly 20 years with the same guitar. If you are able, you work your way up. If not, you enjoy what you have and play music. That's what it's all about.
No, I agree. Yeah, 100%. I played my Strat. Shoot. I bought my first brand new guitar in 2016. I've been playing for 40 years. So, yeah.
Vildjugga. I value the product itself more than a luxurious experience. I don't buy from Sweetwater because of candy and a personal salesman. I do it because I can trust them to not sell me a demo model as new.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. They should up their candy game, though.
Yeah, they at least need to change it up more. And, maybe they need to change it up more. It tells you that or maybe I should buy less guitars and but that sounds dumb. I actually did not buy that many guitars last year. Not enough. I just bought 5.
Sunfold says, I can call him Mike if I don't want to pronounce whatever I must be saying wrong. But that means I have to remember that it's Mike. and not what I'm reading. I just put a Vega trim on a guitar that had a 6-screw trim. Vendor should just license the design and make it their standard Strat trim.
Yeah, a lot of people really like those. It's funny that you say that. I'm not a fan at all. They're neat. I think they're neat. Would I want to see a Strat change to it? No. Actually, I'm a fan of the 6-screw, but I'm weird like that.
Emperor Kamikaze said, people wonder why I'm always giving away root beer barrels.
Exactly. Yeah. My father-in-law, he doesn't live in town anymore, but when he did, he always got a bit of honey because I don't like bit of honey. So I'd always give him my bit of honeys out of there.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And then they have the little green water. I don't know if it's what it is, but that's gross too. I actually don't hardly eat any of the candy. The only candies I eat out of there is the Sweet Tarts. And
they don't give you Sweet Tarts. They give you Smarties. They
Smarties.
are not the same.
That's true. That's true. Okay. So the Smarties and Tootsie Rolls. Other than that, I don't have nothing to do with it.
I would steal the Fireballs out if they had them.
That's true. You would.
But other than, can you buy those somewhere? I actually love those. Random. Yeah, but other than that, I don't think they have good candy.
When I went to Sweetwater, they have like what you don't see is that, because it's all privately packaged for them, but it's already done in these like huge boxes on pallets. It's like the size of a pallet box full of those little bags of candy.
Well, that's probably what's so consistent for so long is it's whatever got packaged up.
Yeah, but they do thousands of orders a day, so yeah, crazy.
I mean, it's a cute thing to go with their brand, but
yeah. Oh, because it's called Sweetwater.
Yeah, but nobody's buying it because of the candy.
No.
I hope not. You could buy a lot more candy. All right. Sunbase says bit of honey's rock.
Ugh. Mm-mm.
What was it the other day? Somebody thought you left a Chica stick in somebody's car, and we were like, definitely not ours.
No, that was not me.
Yeah, that's funny. All right. Apparently I got behind because there is
So you're talking about Sweetwater candy
stuff. Yeah.
Cool.
All right. Almost there. Oh, Richard Lewis said Laffy Taffy. Laffy Taffy's pretty good. Oh, Jim Cox says it's key lime flavor.
Yeah.
Which is his fave.
Okay.
I don't remember a key lime flavor. I feel like I've tried a lot of things and I just spit them out. Because grape, orange, or root beer.
You're out.
Is disgusting.
Yeah. You don't like root beer anything.
No, I don't like root beer. I don't like orange.
You don't even like the smell of root beer. Like you're just like.
Yeah. You tried to trick me one time. No.
Like we're at a fast food place and I like swapped our drinks. She got like this close, couldn't even smelled it. It's like, nope.
Not even funny. All right.
She's grabbing questions.
Steve Rezer says those green things are like key lime pie, and you are right. They suck. So gross.
Yeah.
Oh. Now I feel bad. Mike, now I know his name's Mike. Mike said he can't really pronounce that name correctly either, so don't feel bad.
Oh.
So it didn't even tell me how to like phonetically say it, but we'll just call him Mike.
That's funny.
And I'll forget who that is. So now I'm going to call some random person Mike, and they'll be like, why'd she call me Mike? All right. I'm caught up now. Jay, hello, Dylan. Any thought on the noiseless system that Sir use where they use a dummy coil?
I think it's cool. I don't see a need for it. I'm not a huge, my guitar needs to be 100% quiet person. It does change the entire circuit when you use one. So, you got to compensate for that. But they can design their whole guitar around it. So it's cool. I don't like it, but I don't like the way Sir guitars sound. So there's that. Not a big Sir pickup fan at all.
Uh,
What?
Somebody said something about half-face blades, but you don't have one, do you? Oh, you have the hat. I was like, where did that come from? Rick Moss said half-face blades. Andrew makes awesome knives too. Good taste, man.
He does. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of his pieces. I really like them.
Phil Grochel said, possibly a stupid question. I am considering getting a few wall display cases to store guitars in. Is there a difference in humidity between that and a hard case or gig bag?
If you're so here's the thing. Over the long term in your house, all your humidity is going to kind of even out. The only thing that a case does is it slows down the transition. So like, let's say it's really, really dry and you've got your guitar in a case with one of the little humidity pillow packy things in there and the humidity just drops and it dries out. The guitar in the case will more slowly acclimate and that little humidity pack thing will keep it right. You know what I mean? But eventually, if it stays drier, then unless you do something about it, the guitar in the case will still dry out to the same as its environment around it. It'll just take a lot longer. So that being said, you really need to stabilize the humidity in your home anyway. I don't really worry about guitar storage because I just make sure that the humidity, they're hanging all over the place. And I just make sure that the humidity in the house is okay. So it doesn't even matter if it's in a case or not. Now, that being said, there's a couple of guitars that I don't do that with. One is my custom shop Gibson because the neck moves more on those a little bit. And 2 is my Martin and my Breedlove. My 2 like kind of more expensive wooden acoustic guitars stay in the cases because if it does swing, I don't want them moving around a bunch. Everything else, I don't really care about. Electric guitars don't really move that much as long as they're good constructed well. As long as the humidity is within, 45 to 65%, you're not going, which most houses are going to stay relatively within that unless you live in like Arizona or something, or if you live in like, Guam, then you're going to have to worry about equalizing it. But if they're in a case on the wall or in a case, you're still going to have to worry about equalizing or stabilizing the humidity in your house. So it doesn't really matter.
Jim Cox said, Cutlery Shop sent me stickers, a keychain, and Tootsie Pops with a knife purchase.
I've gotten all kind of crazy stuff with knives. Patches and all kind of stuff.
Matthew Altamere was looking to mess around with changing resistors, diodes, caps, etc. in a pedal. Do you know anyone that sells a multi-kit that includes normal range replacements?
I know StuMech has some little kits and stuff like that, but I don't know anything about them because it's just not a road I go down. I do know, I've seen that Brian Wampler has been advertising how to build pedals little class that he's doing, which is pretty neat.
Yeah, I feel like all that, there's like a new phase of like master class type education happening again, it feels like.
Yep.
Phil said thank you for that answer, by the way.
Thank you, Phil.
Jeremiah Mraz said, is the Guitar Center guitar actually worth less because it was played a handful of times before you bought it versus ordering from a website for a guitar that was only played by the setup guy?
So I personally will not buy a guitar at Guitar Center, not because people have played it, although I do care about that. I would rather buy a guitar from Sweetwater than from Guitar Center. Link in the description. The reason is, for for what we were just talking to Phil about. I have done my own research on this. I've gone into Guitar Center. I've talked about this before. I've gone into Guitar Center, seen a guitar come out of the box, get put on the wall, and it's relatively decent. But Guitar Center sucks at managing their environment. So in 3 or 4 weeks of that guitar hanging up there, because it's not going to sell right away, the frets dry out, they get a bunch of fret sprout, the strings suck, the setup is terrible because they do not pay attention enough. So then you have a guitar that needs more work to get it playable, and then people will blame Gibson or Fender or PRS for bad quality control, when really what it came down to is the environment in the retailer space was not good. So personally, I like to buy from Sweetwater and contend with the travel to get here because I know that that's going to do some too. But overall, I think I get a better instrument that way.
James Grote, what's the deal with the FCS dual mag pickups? What's the advantage?
I don't know what that is. Have not seen it.
I don't know what all those letters stand for. So, Hogman Hawk said, we got 5 bags of candy in 1 box last Sweetwater purchase. Wife and I didn't have to fight over the bit of honeys for once.
Nice.
Say When says, I want to buy a loaded Highway 99 pick guard for my McCready. What capacitor should I get?
You are in luck, my friend. I have a white one completed. I built it for a video. I don't know why. I never said anything about it. And it went in the shelf. It's a brand new one, all built, ready to go, in white, 22, 250, all ready to go. Order it tomorrow. I will ship it tomorrow. I don't know why. It's just been sitting there for like 2 months.
Did you just answer his question?
Yeah, 22, 250. That's what I would put in it. That's what's in that one. You order it tomorrow, I'll have it out in the mail tomorrow. Or order it right now and I'll have it out in the mail tomorrow.
Rick Moss, recommendation for PRS semi-hollow custom 22 for clean sounds, blues, country, southern rock in your pickups. And should I change pots and switch in an SE?
Center punches, if you're going to maintain your coil splitting, but I would remove the resistor because that's dumb. You don't need that with center punches. So I would leave, the pots are okay. All that stuff seems to be okay. The switches can be a little cheap, but the pots, if it's not failing, I wouldn't waste the money on it. Like I wouldn't spend the money on it if it's not broken. But then put center punches in it. Take the resistor garbage out for the push-pull thing. But other than that, that'd be awesome. That'd be a great setup.
Curtis Chavez, Dylan, have you tried a PRS Narrow Field pickup? If so, what did you think of it?
I have not even played one of those. I have not even played one. We live in a town with a very limited PRS contingent, so I don't get to see those very often.
Maybe you should make it happen this weekend.
Maybe.
Joel Toasty? I don't know.
Everybody calls him Joel Toasty on
So you've heard his name before?
Yeah, he's a Patreon patron.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
So they call him Toasty, but you don't know if that's correct?
Matt does, because he's on Matt's channel too.
That doesn't mean it's right.
I know.
All right,
I'm just
Joel,
telling you.
Sorry. Good evening, lovely Leslie and dashing Dylan. Apparently
he's been hanging around with. I was gonna say he's been hanging around with
Shane
too much.
Of your humbuckers you make, what would be a good metal fit for my PRS SE Zack Meyers from Shinedown single cut guitar? Thank you. I didn't know that he said that.
I would put our Super 8s in that guitar. That's what I would put in there.
So do you pronounce the E or not?
I don't know.
That's what we need to know.
He has an icon on order.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Rick Moss says, awesome. Thank you. And get yourself the TS Professional if you want the best knife sharpener made.
The TS,
It says TSPROF KO3. I don't know what all this means.
Is he talking about?
Oh, and the guy who said FCS says he's asking about the Fender Custom Shop dual magnet pickups.
I've not seen those. I've not seen those. Oh, the TS Prof, dude. I watched a. Oh yes, I want one. That they're $500. I watched a Neves Knives video because he pushes those. I think he sells them. He uses them. And then who's the other guy? The sharpening guy. Somebody 5. I can't remember. Anyway, Outdoors 55 or somebody. He was showing that stuff too. Man, that is sick stuff. Yeah, sick stuff.
Bob Potter said, man, Chris revealed my level 4 with DAFs tonight. Looking forward to playing
Dude,
it.
that thing looks sick. That guitar is beautiful. Beautiful.
Cool. I don't know what this is, but he sent it. Dog Dr. Tim said, I got a fruitfully dried fruit tray. I don't know if that's like a, what do you call the fruit bouquet people? Like,
oh, maybe.
Anyway, fruitfully dried fruit tray. I'm going to have to put this thing away before I eat the entire thing. Delish.
Nice. Just sitting there munching as he's watching.
I mean, it's got to be worse things, right?
So Matt pretty much gave it away tonight.
Okay.
That,
Oh, Rick Moss says TS Prop is awesome, worth every penny. Get the KO3. They are like 800 plus, but man, do it.
okay. Good to know. I will eventually. My problem is I like to buy knives more than I like to buy sharpening stuff. I got a new knife today. Actually, we all got new knives today. Leslie got a new knife. Brianna got a new knife. I got a new knife. You get a new knife. You get a new knife. So yeah, so
that's really not my present then, right? Because you said nobody else got anything.
correct.
Okay. Just checking.
No, I bought you that.
Just checking.
No, well, here's what happens a lot of times is I always know that there's something I want, right? Like I always know I'll go to, one of the blade, I'll go to one of the knife. Well, we'll talk about that after 9:00. We'll talk about new knives after 9:00 in the off topic hour. One of the things I was going to mention though, and I guess since these guys have sat around for 55 minutes already. So Matt pretty much spilled the beans tonight that I am the first Texas Toast exclusive dealer. And so you will see in the next few days what you can buy from me.
Literally day.
And nobody else. Only from us. Yep. And the reason I'm going to California with them is because we are debuting this whole program. Not just my guitars, but this whole program, this whole exclusive dealer program at this show. And this whole concept. And so one of the reasons this whole thing that we've been talking about tonight's been on my mind is because I believe that adding value to the buying experience is important. And for the folks that say, I would rather have the cheaper guitar without the cool stuff, then that's okay. You can buy somebody else's guitar. That's totally fine. This guitar may not be for you. But we're going to make sure that you have something that you have and nobody else has. And we're going to make sure that this is something that you're going to be able to brag about the experience from the time you order the guitar for years to come to your friends. It's going to be, in the firearms side of things, we call it a barbecue gun. You know, you don't really use it that much, but it's the one that you like show off at the barbecue. Not in any sort of bad way, but like, hey, check it out. This thing's really cool. So this is going to be your barbecue guitar. And you're going to really be proud of owning it. From the moment you hit the purchase button on through the whole thing. So I'm really, really excited about it. We've actually showed a bunch of it on Patreon already, and a couple of them I think are sold. And I've actually already started on the next. Well, yeah, you'll see. It's pretty awesome. It's going to be cool.
Cool. All right. We have 3 minutes left. So
Okay.
let's see. So we'll just go straight to the questions. Section 8, guitarist. Is it worth replacing the speaker in a cheap amp catalyst? I'm thinking about upgrading to a lunchbox amp and a little 1x1x12.
For those kind of amps, I don't know that I would unless you had a problem. I don't personally see a thing with that. I know that there's a contingency. I'm sure there's like a catalyst group somewhere who has all these mods that they do and stuff. And that kind of amp to me isn't the kind of amp you do that stuff to, but I'm sure there is a culture, a subculture of a subculture that has some ideas for you that I don't know about. Personally, I wouldn't.
Scott Hutchins, at what DCR do Alnico 2 pickups start to lose bass and get centered in the mids? I noticed with my Duncan custom 14 to 1K that even though the mids sound great, the lows are not there.
So the problem with that question is that there's a lot more variables than that. Not knowing wire gauge, not understanding tension, all that stuff. There's a lot more that goes into that than that. I can move stuff around quite a bit with Alnico 2 magnets, but to me, they're not as easy to work with as Alnico 5. They're narrower. So but like our stuff, our Alnico 2s aren't that hot. I would never make an Alnico 2 14K pickup though. That's something I would just not do. So that means that's probably 44 gauge wire. And that's probably the reason. Probably isn't the magnet as much as the gauge of the wire. And that's an extremely high wine count to get that.
Emperor Kamikaze said I might replace the Seymour Duncan passive humbucker in my Schecter C1 FRS. Any suggestions?
What does he have now?
Schecter C1.
Yeah, C1 FRS. That's the Floyd Rose C1, which is a freaking cool guitar.
You might replace the passive humbucker.
So that thing has probably a Duncan design thing in it or something like that. If it was my guitar, I would put our Super 8 in that guitar. Same thing I recommended to the guy with the PRS earlier. It's a little hotter than a PAF. It will give you enough edge to really enjoy that FRS style guitar, but it will also not be so hot that you flatten out and lose a bunch like the last guy with those 14K pickups. So I think you'll be right in the middle there, because the Schecter C1 is a guitar you could do a lot of different things with. That's a great guitar. I used to have a Schecter C1 Custom, which doesn't have a Floyd Rose, but that is a great guitar.
All right, it's 9 o'clock, but I already grabbed 2 more.
Okay, go.
Jose's said, would you say the whole rat's nest Jimmy Page wiring is worth it or more a marketing thing for like the new Les Paul Studios?
I'm not a big pushy, pulley, switchy, change-o-y person. However, Jimmy at there's a few people that do them right. If they're done right, they're not a rat's nest. If they're wired correctly, they're not a rat's nest. They actually are done really simply. Jersey Shore Guitar Garage used to make a really good one. I don't know if he's still doing that or not. They're really good. But you don't need to do it that way. There is a way to make that way easier. That's one of the things Jimmy did really well.
Vinnie's World said, will you guys be doing a live coverage of the show?
That is something I've been thinking about. And when I get there, I'm going to find out what
Yeah, this is all new.
Yeah, this is a new thing. This is a brand new show, brand new venue. This has never been done. New organizers, everything. So I don't know what the format is. I don't know I'm friends with the people that are putting it on, but I don't want to speak out of turn. Like, is that allowed? I'm not really sure. So once I get there, I will find out, and we will do that. But we will be shooting a bunch of content for my channel and for Matt's channel while we're there. There will be a bunch of video content about this new venture that I'm getting myself into. I'm actually starting to shoot it already, the preliminary stuff of it. And then there will be a video coming out probably Tuesday about it all. And these guitars will be available next week. So,
all right, enough guitars talk.
Yep.
What time it is?
It is 9:00. That means it's 9:02. That means it is off topic hour. So for those of you that are not familiar, we talk about guitar stuff till 9, and we talk about off topic stuff after 9.
Pronounced Tosti.
Tosti. Okay.
Thank you.
If you have a guitar question after 9:00, it has to be in a super chat. Otherwise, we are going to ignore it. Otherwise, you can come back next week. So yeah, ask any question you want. We'll probably answer it. There hasn't been very many, if ever, that we've turned down. We just want to get to know you and hang out. Just be friends and stuff.
All right. Curtis Chavez said, dashing as an adjective just doesn't mean anything to me anymore after hearing someone use dashing to describe Prince Charles.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know how to pronounce this. Jim Cox says, I ordered a XARLIK. Oh, XARILK.
Okay.
Zarl, some kind of sharpener. And he needs to get a TAS Prof Center holder. I don't know what a XARILK is.
I don't either. I'm going to write that down. So somebody here, maybe it was Tim, bought me a sharpener. What's the Lansky?
Oh, sorry. I thought you were about to ask me
Did
again.
he say Lansky?
Who?
What is it? How was it spelled?
XARILK.
I'm going to look it up because I don't know what that is.
There's nothing that I said.
What did you say?
XAR.
ILK. Well, it's hard when you're trying to write the letters down that don't normally go together. So sorry.
That was really funny.
That was really funny.
I was like watching you. I was like, that's definitely not what I said. Rick Moss says, I'm just getting into guitars. You are my absolute favorite guitar content creator. I'm learning a ton from you. Thank you, sir. Rick is the one that's a bad influence with the sharpener. He said, every knife you own will be a scalpel if you get it.
That's good to know. I have the Work Sharp Precision Edge, the old one, not the newer, bigger one. And it's okay, but you get into a 4.5-inch blade or a 4-inch blade, and it's too long and it's not heavy enough. I have a Lansky sharpener. I think Tim bought it for me, actually, in the comments here, in the chat. But I don't have I need to get the table clamp thing because it doesn't come with that. So I need to get that. I was looking at it the other day. I keep forgetting to order it. Brianna said she used to have one, and she said it works really well. So, because Brianna likes a sharp knife too. These days, Brianna just brings all her knives to me and I sharpen them.
Mm-hmm.
She uses the crap out of her knives too. I mean, I get them things and they are junk and I have to fix them. I bought her this one knife. It's got a bottle opener in it, CRKT knife. And I think it's 14C28N steel, which is kind of a lower end steel. Man, I wish, as much as she loves that knife, I wish that knife was Magnica or S45 or something else, because she uses the crap out of it and it is so hard to sharpen. Because it's an easy steel to sharpen, but it just dulls so badly that I have to like reconstruct it every time I sharpen it. I mean, every 3 or 4 weeks she brings it to me. I'm like, good grief, what do you use this thing for? Cutting up boxes, I think. Cardboard is really hard on knives. I need to get her one of them little switchbladey box cutters, and she can just change the blade out and use that.
We have 2 of them.
Yeah, they're dumb though. Little Chavez Chub or something.
Presley, California Customs says, off topic, have you ever tried hang gliding? I think you might dig it.
No, because I, while I am not very risk averse, I have had a few friends who have hang glided. I come from a hang gliding town. I lived in a hang gliding town for a long time. And I've had a few friends get really messed up with it. And so it's just a thing that I've never had any, I don't really have much desire to do anything off the ground. I don't care that much about flying through the air. Yeah, I don't really, it's never been a thing. We were talking about that because we were joking about like, yeah, big time YouTuber, what are you going to, everybody's buying helicopters and airplanes. And I'm like, I'm never going to do that. I could have 2 million subscribers and I will not buy a helicopter. Like, it's just not a thing I care about. I'll fly in a plane. I don't mind flying, but I don't see the need to fly through the air for fun. I've flown through the air and came down hard before, and I feel it every day now. So,
I don't know what he's dreaming about.
well, neither. He's over there snuffling really hard, though.
Rick Moss says, I don't know if this is to us or somebody else was talking about it. What state is your mailing address before you start traveling full time? We're not traveling full time.
We're not traveling full time. But before we started traveling full time, it was South Carolina, and now we live in Georgia. But we did travel full time for years. A couple years. It was fun.
Mm-hmm. Let's see.
Oh, that's the other thing that's supposed to happen today and never happened, is the Balmar people. So Balmar, the people that make the generator for the van, the auxiliary alternator, is owned by Dometic. I didn't know that. So I called them. I emailed them yesterday. They didn't email me back. I went to start my van the other day, wouldn't start. And we have these Class B, like a Sprinter van kind of deal. And I went to start it, wouldn't start. So I had a battery tender on it. So I went to start it again, and it started smoking immediately. And what it was is we have an auxiliary generator. It's an alternator. It's a 170 amp alternator to charge our lithium batteries for the van. It had seized up, and it was actually like dragging the fan belt on the seized up alternator. So I got to get one of those, but I don't know which one it is. I think I do, but you don't like to buy electrical stuff. They don't really like returning electrical stuff, so I don't want to get it wrong.
Jose said, how's the puppy doing?
He's good. He's good. He's good. His knee that was bothering him, it seems fine. we are trying to slow him down they told us 4 weeks. So really that's another week and a half or so. But it's hard to slow a puppy down. So we're really trying to make sure he's not running super hard on it, but.
Phil Grochel said on Pinterest earlier today, this knife storage box popped up, and I thought about you, Dylan. So I wonder how you store your knives. This was a bread box size case with like 7 felt lined drawers.
Right now, the way I have them stored is on magnet strips. I have a wall over here. You may have seen it in the back. You can't see it from your angle now, but so when we're shooting these videos and the bullhead is behind me, you see him in the video sometimes. If you look over my left shoulder to your right, there's a little short wall, and I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 magnetic strips on the wall, like heavy duty ones, and they have knives. So it goes from about 3 feet off the ground to like 8 feet off the ground all the way up. The whole wall is full, almost full. I had to add another one recently.
Yeah.
And the only one I have one knife. It's actually right here. This is Medford Merc 1. This is their Medford knife and tool. This is their out the front knife. And I'm scared to put this on the magnetic wall because I had it for a while. I didn't even use it. And I stored it on the magnetic wall and it started failing. And I think there was some internal stuff in here that got goofed up because of the magnets. And so I had them rebuild it, and they changed out the carriage and stuff. Apparently they redesigned some stuff anyway. And so now it's great, but I don't keep that one on the wall. But everything else I do.
Section 8 guitarist said, is that a Frank Frazetta on the wall behind you?
You know, I don't know if it is or not.
Talking art?
Yeah. I don't know if it is or not. I got it from this company called Displate. They make metal prints of artwork. So it might be, but I don't know. I don't think it is, actually.
Probably would be on the back because it has.
Yeah, I can't remember if it is or not.
John Winard said, I survived a Piper Tomahawk incident, 1994. Oof. I haven't rode in a small plane since.
Yeah. Yikes.
Presley, California Custom said, the pup is definitely dreaming about hang gliding.
Yeah. No.
Can you dream about something you've never done? Surely not. Can you?
Yeah, I think so. Why not?
I don't know. Like as an experience? Like, okay, if you watch a video of a roller coaster, does your stomach drop if you've never been on a roller coaster?
That's a good question.
See what I mean?
I do.
Anyway.
They do have an entire Frazetta collection, so I think this actually is a Frank Frazetta.
Oh, well, there you go.
Yeah. Good eye.
I don't know what's happening. Chris Hendricks said that's why we call it the Trauma Hawk. What?
Oh, because he's an aeronautic mechanic.
Okay.
Chris Hendricks is.
So we call what a Trauma Hawk?
The plane that he had an incident on. Yeah.
Got you. I totally
They are having a conversation that they understand.
Okay.
Makes sense. Yeah. Yeah, because I don't remember. Does Chris work for? Well, he might do something different now, but yeah, he's in the.
I don't know. He travels a lot, and it is plane related. One of the big companies.
Mm-hmm. It was Garmin, but I don't know if it's
Daddy said, yes, I can fly in dreams. So
Yeah, exactly.
Was it that company? Because I feel like that's who
It was
people in
Garmin.
Texas work for.
It was
They work-
Garmin.
Oh, all right.
Yeah. No, the people in Texas work for Lockheed Martin.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Just crossing up.
Yep.
my-
We have friends in aerospace all over the place. Hey, that rhymes.
All right. Garmin, yeah.
Okay, so
He's
he still
listening.
does.
He's listening.
He still does.
Yeah. I'm not friends with everybody in the chat, but I am friends with some.
That's right. We've met a bunch of people. Yep. I did get it.
Aviation maintenance training. That's
Oh,
what he does.
okay.
That's probably why he has to travel if he's in training.
Mm-hmm. I did get a new knife today. So I have, well, between us, we have 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, probably like 17 or 18 Protecs. But I never had a TR3 before. So I got a basic TR3 in just a tumble blade finish with 154 cm with a black handle. I wanted the basic one of this because I have another Protec in my other pocket. Actually, now that I think about it, I have a PT Strider PT Plus. I just found out today that Mick Strider and Protec have ended their relationship, and these are no longer going to be made. Yep. And this is a special edition one from Blade Show 2024. This is like, what is this number? Says it on here somewhere. Number 40 of 100. But yeah, I wanted one of these because I wanted a Protec that I could like a work knife. A lot of that stuff I'll use when I go out, and I use my runt a lot, the little one. But a lot of that stuff isn't like stuff that I feel like I want to beat up. But I wanted a Protec that I felt like I could beat up. So that's what this is. So it's like almost the least expensive knife they make, but it's a nice big work knife. And yeah.
Jim Cox
That'd be
says,
cool.
I might buy a Protec just to see if the hype is true.
It is true.
I don't know what you like now, but it'll ruin you.
Yeah, it depends what you like. So, but if you have ever tried any kind of out the side automatic, Protec is the best. Period. They are the best. We have other out the side knives up there. I just got her a Boker Kalashnikov today. So she just got that today. That's an out the side automatic. I've got, we've got a Microtech LUDT up there. That's an out the side automatic, and some other stuff. But that Protecs there's nothing like this. Protec Snap, there's nothing like it.
Jose said, what's the difference between a work versus pleasure knife? No kink shaming, but curious about that.
I just mean like hard use. Sometimes I buy knives that I don't mind if they get beat up. I don't mind if, I've got some stuff up there that's pretty fancy, Timascus and all this kind of crazy stuff. And I use everything. It's not that I don't use it, but some of it I am more careful with. Some of it I like to make sure it's real clean when I'm done with it. And I like to really take care of it. Some stuff is just a beater. I've got a Microtech MSI up there that thing's gone through. That's when it's box breakdown day. That's the one I use, something I just can just hammer on and not matter.
super chat from Wick Sounds. Dylan, recommend a torsion assist knife or a way to buy out the front knives in Canada.
I do not know the answer to that. Canada is its own animal that I have no idea. I don't know. I hesitate because every time, so I have friends in Canada, in fact, three friends of the channel who watch a lot, who are into this kind of stuff too. And every time they'll tell me, oh yeah, I can't get that here, you know? So I don't know. I don't know.
Dog Dr. Tim said, I've really enjoyed your pen content lately. I got a few pens lately, including a really bougie one. Beginning to think I'm really bougie too. Sometimes I enjoy this stuff a bit too much.
Me too. It's fun. I like it. Writing is just so good for me, man. I actually was thinking about it yesterday. I've gotten into this super random just writing for the sake of writing. So I've been in my brain kind of spending at least a little time every day really like focused to journaling, like actually getting some constructive thoughts out and planning and stuff. And I've also been using my Hobonichi planner more effectively. So literally planning out ideas and, you know, when I think of it, grabbing it and writing stuff more intentionally, just really trying to be more. I was watching some videos the other day about being more articulate in speech and I say right after that, but being more articulate in speech, not necessarily, okay, so I know sometimes the word whiskers kind of come out and stuff, but just really being intentional. You know, when you're on the internet all the time, people are trying to attack every little thing you say. And like when you make a mistake or when you leave out a detail or whatever. So at least trying to have more complete thoughts where if somebody does challenge an idea that I can, or if I am challenging one of my own ideas, that I can like speak it out properly. I've just been giving that more thought lately.
Phil Grochel said, I found your video on writing left-handed with the fountain pen very helpful. Being left-handed in a right-handed world, spending money on a writing instrument is a factor to keep in mind.
Yeah, it's funny because I guess, you know, I've been left-handed for so long, but I do everything right-handed except for right, basically. I shoot left-handed, but I think I pretty much do just about everything right-handed. And so I haven't really thought about it. I didn't really think about it even being a problem until people were like, I can't believe you can write left-handed with a fountain pen. And I'm like, I don't know why I couldn't. Nobody told me I couldn't, so I didn't think about it. So I really had to put some thought into that video because what am I doing that's making this so easy? That's kind of what I had to take it as.
Right.
Instead of like, how do you solve a problem? It was like, I think I unknowingly solved the problem because I am having no problem. So I'm just going to tell you what I do. And hopefully that helps. Because I had to think about it. It was like it was weird. That was a weird video to make, actually. Thank you for saying that.
Chris Hendricks said they're driving to Boca to hang with the in-laws over spring break in March. We'll be traveling through Georgia. We'll have to make some time to drop in your area.
You could do that, yeah. That'd be awesome. I'd be down.
Yeah, depending on what day, even if he's not directly in the area.
I want to meet his wife. I engraved her name on a flask recently, so.
So now you need to meet her?
Yeah, I know what her name is and everything.
Well, I was thinking when I was just saying I'm not friends with everybody, but I am friends with some. I was literally thinking sometimes I feel weird when I like feel like I know people's family, but I actually don't.
Yeah.
I mean, like I've seen tons of pictures of his kids and, like, but I've not met them.
Yeah. Yeah, it's still weird. It is kind of weird. Like how you connect with these people from all over the place. And we actually do connect, that's and that's why we do this, right? Like, cause you become friends with people and you don't even really know them yet. It's fun.
Mm-hmm. Well, slowing down.
It's all right.
People still here? People are still here.
Dang.
What y'all want to talk about?
I got to feed snakes tonight. So as soon as we get done, I got to take frozen Mises out and get them thawing.
Oh, Chris Hendricks is left-handed too?
Oh, I guess I didn't realize
I changed my standard angle to the page to be a lefty in a fountain pen world.
Yeah, that's kind of... So when I was a kid, I do remember being that left-handed, like hook your hand over person, because I remember, being in school and doing schoolwork when I was at home too, having like pencil lead all over the side of your hand. You know what I mean? From dragging it across the pencil lead. So I know I did that, but I don't remember at what point I changed to write underneath, because I don't even remember when I wrote like that. So somewhere along the way I changed. I was wondering, is it because we type? So
and you had to hold your hands
yeah,
different.
so your coordination of your hands now becomes straight in front of you instead of, unless you get one of those goofy keyboards that's like this. Remember those like ones that you could like bend in the middle and
like
stuff?
the ergonomic ones?
Yeah. But anyways, maybe it's because we type. Maybe it's because everything else I do is straight on like that. I don't know.
I don't know the answer. I'm not left-handed.
I wind pickup. Well, that's the other thing. I wind pickups with my right hand. And
you think I write weird and I write right-handed.
So you don't write weird. You write normally. But what you do, and this is what's weird.
See, you were about to say it's weird, even though you're trying to tell me.
It is weird because I don't understand why. She writes, so I'll leave the cap on the pen so you can see it. She writes with the pen turned in about 25 degrees. And which it's funny because then when I look at your tines, like to align them, they're on an angle. They're like bent. Like you could use an oblique nib and probably be.
What's that mean?
Where they cut an angle on it.
Oh.
They actually cut an angle on it, like to where it offsets that. But
try it.
It's weird. Yeah, I'll get you a right-handed oblique nib. Yeah, it's really wild that you do that because she's not writing crooked, and you're not holding the paper weird. You're not holding the pen weird, but the pen just twists this way in your fingers that much, no matter what. Every time I've seen you write. And you probably would never think about it with a regular pen because regular pens are round.
I mean, I don't think about it, period. I don't think about any of it till you're like, why are you doing that?
I know, but it's always the same angle every time, no matter what pen. Even your new vanishing point that has the clip on it, I noticed it the other day. It was twisted and your finger was on top of the clip. I'm like, yeah, it's so goofy. But anyways, it's just one of those things. It doesn't matter. It works. But like...
My handwriting's still better than yours.
But like this pen, Lamy 2000, is really super sensitive to off-angle writing. I bet it wouldn't work as good for you. It's just kind of weird. I don't know. The weird things we nerd out about, I guess. Or the weird things I nerd out about.
Chris said Leslie will be proud. I ordered my first stub. I'm excited to try it.
Yeah, Leslie's got a bunch of those.
I prefer them.
She told me don't even buy her pens if they don't have stubs in them.
Yeah, we were talking about that because you're like, make sure you look at, like the final clearancey stuff or something. And you're showing me stuff. I'm like, I don't see that stuff. And it's because my first filter is stub. Like, I don't even want to see it if it doesn't come in a stub.
Well, and like I bought you that Vanishing Point Decimo but you write with that all the time. But that pen also serves a little different purpose.
Yeah, I mean, I like, my least favorite nib, 100% least favorite. And I have just as many of them as I have stubs. Is the broad nib.
Really?
That's my least favorite.
Huh.
There's no need for that big old ball and all that ink to pour out on a page.
So what's weird is I'd always thought that you'd wanted a broad one because you like the stub because it's such a wide line.
It's not
But
the
ink
same.
flow's different
Mm-hmm.
and feel is different. Yeah.
It is not the same.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, it's interesting. Anyway. People are like this.
Section 8 guitarist said, "Holy cow, is that a snake in the background?" Oh my God. That does look weird.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
in a cage, by the way. That does look really freaky. I just saw it. Where was I? Yeah. It does look like it's just there.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
It scared me when he said that because then I saw it and I was like, oh my God, where is the snake?
Yeah. I'd take him out and show him to you, but we're going to feed him here in a little bit. I don't like to bother him before I feed him. Today's feeding day, so I've got him. I got 2 other ones.
Mm-hmm. All right. I might have missed some stuff. Let me scroll back up.
Oh my God, is that a snake in the back?
That literally scared me. I was like,
it's so funny.
is it supposed to be there? Like,
He must be hungry. He's like up and around.
all right. My goodness. Dog Dr. Tim, can you do colors on the flasks? Artillery is red.
No.
Keith H said, I bought the Kaveco set under your advice. Very handy and fun. Thanks.
The calligraphy set?
Maybe that I'm assuming he means Kaveco. It actually says Kawect. Is that something else? I just figured it was he meant to put a O, but maybe not.
I don't know.
Rick Moss says, I have snakes and I breed high-end leopard geckos. I used to breed retics and boa constrictors.
So I have 3 ball pythons. He's my biggest one. And we have a leopard gecko too. Or, well, no, I apologize. We have a crested gecko.
Mm-hmm.
And we have a bearded dragon. Yep.
All right. Jay said she writes like how Marty Friedman picks. Chris Hendricks said, I need me a vanishing point. Did that video come out yet?
Yeah. Yes, you do. I didn't know how much I needed one until I got one. That's one I'd been putting off for whatever reason. I don't know. Because I just had better things to spend money on, I guess. And then I got it and I'm like, oh my God, I love this thing. I use it every day. It's my desk pen. So like if you order something from me and I write a note on, I write a note on all my orders that going out, just like, hey, thanks for, blah, blah, blah. And that's the pen I'm using to do all that. I love that pen.
Dog Dr. Tim said, what kind of line do you get with a stub? Is it quite wide? It's 1.1 millimeters.
1.1 millimeters when you go on the downstroke, and then it's super thin on the side stroke.
It's like calligraphy, but it's not a calligraphy pen.
No, it's not a calligraphy nib, but you could do it if you did it right.
I naturally write to where it just looks good when I write with it because of how I write.
Yes, and because you write at that weird angle. I was messing with this the other day. If you take a stub and you put it about 20 degrees off and then you start writing with it, like it gives you more calligraphy looking. It may be.
Because I like writing with stub.
Yep, maybe. That actually, as soon as you said that, it made sense.
Jeffrey Hall, have you seen the new CRKT Walker blade lock knife?
I have. I saw that when they were debuting it at Blade Show because Mike Walker, is that his name? Yeah, that thing's pretty wild. It's not my style, but the design is very interesting. It's very cool. Like the new knife that I want right now, and I'm not usually ever a fan, because I do not have any of them, actually. I have no zero tolerance knives. And they just came out with that one. Is it a 512 or something? But it's Cerakote brown with like a burlap micarta handle, and it's an automatic, and it's like a It's just like a clip point work knife, basically, sort of this size, automatic, but a micarta handle in brown. I really want that. That thing's really neat. MagnaCut, I think. No, I think it's not MagnaCut. I think it's Crewwear. So yeah, that'd be something I'd be interested in.
So Keith was talking about the Kaveco set. Chris Hendricks said, I just got the Kaveco Sport AL from a buddy at work. I absolutely love it. But I want to change out the nib. I like the medium. This one's extra fine.
So I have a fine AL Sport in red, and I absolutely love that pen. For some reason, it feels so much different. So the nib housing is a little different on the ALs, and I don't know what it is, but it just writes better. It just feels better than the plastic ones. She doesn't like the metal ones because you don't like the way they sound. Mm-mm. She doesn't like any kind of scrapey sound. So if you ever want to like make her mad, like rub your hands on a tent. She doesn't like that sound. So like, or sandpaper or grinding or sharpening knives on a stone. She doesn't like that sound. So if you take that...
Sanding guitars at Texas Toast.
So if you take that aluminum and you go take the cap on and off, you don't like that sound.
But I have a metal pen. They don't scratch. The ones you gave me, like, I could feel it and it made a sound. And
like a gritty sound. Yeah. Feel too.
With that. Yeah. Let's see. Rick Moss says, I've resisted the fountain pen thing forever because the ones I want are like $3,000. That's like jumping all in.
Yeah, that's jumping all in. There's a couple up in that range that I want, but I probably would never do that because I have other things that I would want to spend $3,000 on before I spent that on that. But
Chris Hendricks said, what is your favorite fountain pen in the $100 to $300 price range? I know Lamy 2000 is in there, a Mont Blanc something. Just curious your thoughts.
Nope. In the 100 to 300 range, right now, end of story. I'll tell you what it is.
This is so pretty too.
Yes. Leonardo Momento Zero. This one is an Atlas exclusive. I think these are sold out. This one is an Atlas exclusive that is still there. And this is a Jonathan Brooks resin. These are both Jonathan Brooks resin. This is Jonathan Brooks Abalone. This is Jonathan Brooks Primary Manipulation 4.5. This pen and nib is so good. And the quality control on Italian pens can be iffy sometimes. Dude, this pen is unbelievable. The nib it's not gold, but it might as well be. It's so good. It's got a wheeled clip. It's just everything about it is freaking amazing. I love this one. And I would tell you, get the one with the black nib instead of the one with the rose gold nib, because something about the black coating that they use makes it smoother. I have a Leonardo Momento Magico, which is the piston version of this, and it has the chrome nib, and it's not as smooth as these two have black nibs, and they're better. Unbelievable pen for 200 and... I want to say, well, the Jonathan Brooks stuff is more expensive, so it might be like $240, but the other ones might be like $190 or $180. You can get them on sale. The Leonardo Momento Zero, dude, is so good. I love it. And then the other one in that range, I know it's a little more than 300. I think these are like 320. But you cannot go wrong ever with the Pilot 823. This pen is probably, if you were to buy one fountain pen and you were like, I can never afford to buy another one ever again, I think this might have to be the one. It is like, the nib is unbelievably good. It's ugly. It's just a brown pen. It like just looks like a pen, but man, is it good. Absolutely freaking amazing. But that Leonardo Momento Zero I'll go straight to it. I'd go straight to it. Either that or a Lamy 2000. The Lamy 2000s are ugly.
Jose said, do you have to wait until a pen runs out before refilling? Nope.
Nope. I dump them out and clean them out and go through ink all the time because I just like changing them up.
Graphite and Guitar said, my wife just got an Opus 88 Mini. She is in love.
Ooh, that's cool. I have the big fat one. And I like that too. It's got red sparkly ink in it right now. It's clear. It's all clear. The Opus 88 Demonstrator is the one I have. Yeah, the minis are neat. All those Opus 88s are eyedropper fill. The whole brand is eyedropper fill. So, Yep. The Pilot 823 is going to be the pen that I take to California with me because you can fly with them. Because you can seal them up.
Chris said, thanks.
And if I fill the 823 at the beginning of the week, the capacity is so huge. Oh, that's the other thing, Mr. Flying Everywhere guy. If you get an 823, a Pilot 823, it has, the way it works is there's two different reservoirs in here. So you're writing with it, and it kind of like feels like it's running out of ink. You unscrew the back. It's a vacuum filler. You unscrew the back and go like this, and it fills it up again. But if you leave this down, it doesn't allow air to transfer back and forth. And so you can have a huge ink capacity. This will last you all week being gone working or whatever with no problem. But even though it has such a huge ink capacity, when you tighten this down, it seals this off. So the air transfer back and forth doesn't happen inside here. And so you can fly with it and it won't leak. So, Mr. Fly Everywhere guy, you might need a Pilot 823. Opus 88s are like that too. They have a seal in them. It does the same thing.
Section 8 Guitar says, I like to top off the ink with a different color when there's still a little of the old color
so you can
to
watch
create
it fade.
new shades.
Yeah, and if you like write a whole page, you can watch it like slowly fade across. Yep.
Dog Dr. Tim, do you have a log that you use to keep up with what ink is in what pen? I get lost in my mind.
I do. So what I did is
So do I.
Yeah. Right here this is my notepad that I carry with me everywhere. So in here I just have a little A6 notebook, and the way I do it, everybody does it different. I don't need to have ink swatches with everyone and all. I have a whole other ink swatch book, but basically all this is it's every page in here is a different pen. So if you just open this up, this says Lamy Safari, and this is whatever charcoal medium nib on. I haven't inked this up in a long time. So on 620, I put this ink in it. If you flip over here, Lamy 2000, see there's a whole bunch of them because I use this pen all the time. So Lamy 2000 medium nib. I just inked this up with Waringal Phantom of the Opera on the 12th. And so it'll just go down the page until it's full. Some of these, and actually I have enough pens now where I only have this many pages left in this book. Yeah. Right now, my Pilot Custom 823 has Endless Molten Bronze in it. And I inked it up on the 10th, and it's only like 20% down. That'll last me forever. That pen has tons of capacity. Yep. The other one that's got a pretty gnarly capacity too, I'm kind of surprised by it, is I haven't bought a new pen in a while. I say a while, like 3-4 weeks. Because my last one was a Mont Blanc 149. So this was not nothing. But this pen lasts forever too. And it's the wettest nib I own, and it lasts forever. It's got huge capacity to it. This might be my new favorite. You can't use it for everything. It's, but it's unbelievable. It's really, really good.
$9.46.
Well, maybe we should go, and I'm going to thaw out some mices. Because he is like trying to leave the building over there. He's so hungry, it looks like.
Chris Hendricks said, I'm literally collecting the Peter Pan colors from Colorverse. It's been almost as much fun as collecting pins.
Dude, if you saw my ink collection,
yeah, it's ridiculous.
It's nuts. We probably have 200 colors. I love collecting the ink.
We had to
colors.
buy a cabinet just for ink.
Yeah, we have a cabinet it's nuts. It's fun though. I love ink, man. I'll buy ink all the time. I think it's great. And when that stuff goes on clearance, it's only $5-6 at a time, or $12 or $15, or it's not expensive. Then the problem is you're like, well, minimum shipping for free shipping is $75. Let me see what else I can buy. You end up just being.
Phil Grochel said, there's a magazine called Pen World. I may need to buy a copy to learn more about all this stuff.
Oh my gosh.
There's YouTube videos.
Great YouTube videos for that stuff. Yeah. We have, and if you're interested at all, there's links in the description. We have affiliate links with, like Atlas Stationers out of Chicago. They're my favorite store. If you use Dylan 10 to get 10% off, and then we get a little, we get store credit with them basically. So it's just sort of a self-feeding hobby, I guess.
You guys should do an ink collection video on the other channel. There's lots of swatch videos for sure.
Oh, we did it. We did a video where we went through all of my pens. We have done a bunch of swatching videos. Brianna and I used to do live swatching videos every time we got like a shipment of ink in, and we got 4 or 5 colors at a time. And we did the ink vent, the Diamine ink vent calendar. Her and I sat down and did all 25 of those in one shot. That took like an hour. So there's a bunch of them that we do have. We don't have every color that we've ever got, but most of them we do. Yeah.
I thought I saw something else that I was going to read, but now I don't know where it went. Oh, this is not off topic, but Rick Moss says, what time is your Tuesday live?
4:00 Eastern. And then what we do is every Friday. So it's 4:00 Eastern, but then, obviously it's on YouTube. And then what I'm trying to do is every Friday upload the Tuesday live stream and this live stream. I do it at the same time. So it comes out as 2 podcast episodes on Spotify. And so that ends up going to Spotify, iTunes, Google Podcasts, all the podcast places. But on Spotify, it's video too. So we do that so if you're an audio podcast listener and you don't want to sit through these things, you can 1.5 it on your way to work or whatever in audio.
Cool.
All right.
Tired.
All right. Well, I guess we're going to get out of here. I'm going to go feed some snakas.
Are you going to be here next week?
Oh, I am not going to be here next week. And I don't know what our plan for next week is, because we're going to be in California and it's 3 hours time difference. It's the whole thing. So I'm not sure if we're going to have a Thursday. Right now, I'm thinking we're probably not. Because I think we got invited to some StuMac thing, actually. So I don't think we're going to have a Thursday next week. We will have a Tuesday. We will have a Monday. There is going to be a bunch of video content next week, but it's not going to be the same. We probably will have a live stream, but it will not be the same. So, because we'll probably live stream from California, but it will not be the same as what our normal one is. So, awesome. Anyway. All right. We'll see y'all.